This is not a topic that I typically delve into in my reaction videos, but apparently steroids are back, and they are in. So they're calling this the Steroid Olympics, the Enhanced Games. And so what we're going to do in this video is we're just going to react to this and give some initial thoughts. I literally just learned about this as I decided to make this video. Let's dig in. What are the Enhanced Games?
The Olympics have no chance.
In 2024, Olympic runner-up James Magnussen became the first athlete to join the Enhanced Games.
Or the Doping Olympics, as it's been dubbed.
Controversial sporting competition where drug cheats aren't just allowed, they're actually the stars.
And Wired tells us that they'll be holding their first edition in May 2026 in the City of Sin, Las Vegas.
The creators' goal? To overshadow the Olympics.
So wouldn't it be more fair to have an enhanced games on the one side and a natural, slow, boring Olympics on the other?
Safe to say, not everyone is a fan.
It's a gamble, it's a Russian roulette with...
To me, like, my first initial reaction to this is shock and horror. Like, no, this is not a good idea. Perhaps it might make some sports very entertaining, but I mean, these athletes are going to expire. I gotta say that word here on YouTube. Yeah. All right.
The 6 bullets in the barrel.
I think looking at this from the outside, it's just got death written all over it.
I just find this really, really terribly sad.
So why are more and more Olympians signing up? What's the cunning business model powering it all? And how did this all begin in the most unexpected place?
We didn't get to this on Monday, but like that billionaire who wants to start the steroid Olympics.
This was the moment that would ignite the Enhanced Games. A local Australian podcast simply discussing the concept.
Who could we talk to? Who would be able to give you a bit of an insight there? Like,
well, I tell you who would have some idea, surely, who is a friend of the show, is the Missile.
They called up a retired Olympic swimmer, not knowing he was about to light the
I love
fuse
podcasting,
that would
but
set
man,
everything into motion.
If they put up $1 million for the 50 freestyle world record, I'll come on board as their first athlete. I'll juice to the gills and I'll break it within 6 months.
Organisers took the offer, putting out a bounty for breaking the record under the Enhanced Games.
That's one big carrot. It's a big carrot.
He became the first official athlete to join the games, and his transformation quickly drew attention.
That is nuts, bro.
What I am seeing.
But the concept of a steroid Olympics isn't new.
Nuts.
It was first mocked by SNL back in 1988.
The first all-drug Olympics opened today in Bogota, Colombia.
Oh, he's pulled his arms off! He's pulled his arms.
The man who turned this into a reality was Aaron D'Souza, who identified it as a lucrative business opportunity.
I've been studying the Olympics and the Olympic movement my entire life.
D'Souza noticed a few issues with the Olympics, the first one being doping.
What? Oh, okay.
44% of Olympians admit to using banned performance-enhancing drugs within the last year, according to research.
And there's the nuance. Okay, I've been like this whole time. I only see this, and I only see negatives. I still don't think this is a good idea. However, now there's some nuance there. Okay, so if already almost half of the athletes admit that they do that, and I'm not sure that his numbers are correct here, but I can at least see the rationale. If they admit to doing that already, I don't know. That doesn't mean we should just... No, I'm backing off. Even with that nuance, that's still dumb. We shouldn't promote that. When athletes do that, they should have severe consequences. Because it's not just for the consumers of the sport. We actually have to do the right thing here. We can't just promote a culture where people do very harmful things to their bodies. I don't know. Let's listen more to what they have to say.
The other, probably lying.
Are losing. Yeah, exactly.
Take the most prestigious event, sprinting.
And if you look at the 100-meter time, it's the fastest man in the world. 7 of the top 10 fastest 100-meter runners in history have had a doping violation. And the only one that's not in the top 5 is Usain Bolt.
Instead of having the athletes doped with underground drugs, D'Souza argues this is a safer.
Let's just not glide over the fact the only one who has not had a doping violation is Usain Bolt. So much more. I already respect him as the fastest runner who's ever lived, probably. Definitely the best. That's really, wow, props, man.
And the only one that's not in the top 5 is Usain Bolt.
Instead of having the athletes dope with underground drugs, D'Souza argues this is a safer and more honest approach.
We will allow all substances at minimum that are clinically approved and that can be dispensed by physicians.
You see, athletes have long had to deal with other countries' doping, from the Chinese swim team to the Russian state-sponsored program.
As athletes, our faith can no longer be blindly placed in the world of anti-doping agency, an organization that continues to prove that it is either incapable or unwilling to enforce its policies consistently around the world.
And it can be difficult to test for every substance, for everyone involved.
Lowell is required to witness and have an unobstructed view.
Not to mention, the rules are often outdated.
Caffeine was literally a banned substance until 2004.
Which is why many are excited about the doping checks being dropped altogether. Secondly, Olympic athletes are often massively underpaid.
You know, and then I learned that the average American Olympian only earns $30,000 a year.
That's a part of what makes the enhanced games so
insane.
tempting. Instead of waiting 4 years for a shot at
That is insane. All right.
Olympic glory and scraping by on low pay, athletes here are offered millions, with events held each year, not just once every 4 years. But money isn't the only motivator. At the heart of it is a bold and controversial claim that performance enhancement shouldn't be hidden. It should be embraced, studied, even celebrated as the next evolution of elite sport. But what brand wants to be associated with drug use? The Olympics relies on sponsors and billion-dollar TV deals. The enhanced games? They're uploading everything online for free. Because the real business isn't broadcasting, it's pharmacology. The same drugs used by the athletes will soon be sold to the public for a legal telehealth model.
Oh, that's so dangerous. At least that's the way I'm reacting to it immediately. That's so dangerous. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Because everybody's body is a little different, too. So, I can see people. I can see fans. I can see kids as they hit the age where they could medically, maybe even get a doctor to sign off on some of this stuff. Just because their favorite athlete takes this particular drug, this is rough.
Think hormone clinics meets influencer marketing, where the athletes are the ads. It's a bold, brutally profitable strategy. And whether you call it innovation or a disgrace, one thing's for certain, nobody's looking away.
This reminds me a lot of the early UFC days. Everybody's clutching their pearls, talking about how barbaric it was, and now it's seen as like a good Saturday night family viewing event.
On social media, people want to see the fastest swimmer, the quickest sprinter, the strongest human alive.
Oh, there will be eyes
and
on
enhanced
it.
games.
Eddie Hall. He almost died from doing this. I love Eddie Hall. I watch a lot of his content. Yeah, he almost died when he did this. Horrible what this did to his body. Was almost brain dead.
Tap straight into that impulse. Because in today's world, attention tends to follow spectacle, not moderation. And if someone has to shave a few decades off their lifespan to produce that, well, that's their choice.
Do they shatter records? Do they blow off tendons in the pool? Do they gain too much muscle and just sink to the bottom? Do their hearts explode? We're about to find out.
So whether you're watching because you're fascinated or horrified, you're watching. And that's exactly the point. This is why a lot of doctors, ex-Olympians, and even ex-doping kingpins are concerned.
I do not think it's a good idea. I think the general thinking of athletes is if a little bit's good, a lot's going to be great, and then they have a tendency to overdo
that's
it.
a good point.
And the next thing you know, they're doing self-harm.
The Enhanced Games promises world records, million-dollar payouts, and a new era of sports. But behind the shiny marketing is a minefield of problems, and a business model that raises some serious red flags. With the CEO of the USA Anti-Doping Agency calling the organization a dangerous clown show. When performance-enhancing drugs become the expectation, not the exception, you don't just push the limits of human performance, you obliterate the guardrails.
The reality is when there's a lot of money on the line,
People are willing to do a lot of things.
Just a chemical arms race, where the athlete, willing to take the biggest risk, walks away with the cash, or perhaps doesn't walk away at all. Even the original name, the Enhanced Games, feels like a meme. If the goal is to be seen as a serious alternative to the Olympics, the branding isn't doing it any favours. To many, it still feels like a joke, or a less serious version of what already exists. Just look at the comments. The Olympics without drug testing is just the Olympics. If the best athletes can break records through the current system, why risk it all for this? The first official record was set by Christian Golomev, earning the $1 million prize. But despite the hype, most viewers were underwhelmed. In a suit, doped, and he was only able to chip away 2 cents from the world record. Even the media is skeptical. News organisations are already putting the event's legitimacy in quote marks. Many are calling it dangerous, especially for younger athletes watching from the sidelines, because by rewarding enhanced athletes with fame, money, and virality, the message is loud and clear. Natural isn't enough. To win, you must be willing to risk your health.
This is the main concern that most people have. This is my biggest reservation and concern, is what it says to the youth, what it says to the kids. Like that, it's legitimately scary.
In the words of two-time Olympic champion Kieran Perkins, it's borderline criminal.
The challenge is that people on the outside don't always have access to those resources, and if they see, hey, look at this swimmer who's setting world records on performance-enhancing drugs, I'm gonna go take some performance-enhancing drugs, you introduce a new risk profile that, if it's not closely monitored, supervised, etc., opens up the whole door for a lot more risk.
Let's not forget, many of these substances are banned for a reason. In some countries, they're illegal. And the Enhanced Games is already raising eyebrows in the medical world. Behind the bold talk of freedom and scientific progress is a business model built on normalizing drug use, targeting everyday people with promises of superhuman performance. And finally, this model could actually increase inequality in sport, because when access to drugs, medical supervision, and cutting-edge enhancements becomes part of the equation, the athlete with the most money, best doctors, and corporate backing will have a massive head start. Sport has never been 100% fair, but the Enhanced Games could end up being less fair than the very system it claims to disrupt. The Enhanced Games might sound like a joke, but the questions it raises couldn't be more serious. What do we actually want from elite sport? Is it health, discipline, a level playing field? Or is it something more extreme? The fastest, strongest, most enhanced version of the human body, no matter the cost. Because behind the $1 million payouts and the viral headlines, this isn't just another sporting event. It's a stress test for the future of competition, a direct challenge to everything the Olympics was built on, and a reflection of what modern day audiences really pay attention to. Maybe this is the future of sport, or maybe it's
that is the thing that I think of. I'll share I see there's only 20 seconds left. I'll share my thoughts as this video ends.
What happens when performance becomes content, and content becomes business? Either way, this isn't the beginning of doping in sport, and it's definitely not the end, but it might be the end of pretending it doesn't exist. So what do you think? Is this the future of human performance, or a day?
Yeah, so that point makes sense, that it's not, this is not a new phenomenon, but putting it out in the open and promoting it may have unintended negative consequences. Now, if you have a pro PED position, share it in the comments with me. I'm a reasonable guy. I don't like to get into fights in the comments, but if you disagree, share it down below. I don't think that this is a good thing for sports. I really don't. And I think, but it will tap into the thing I talk about a lot in my videos. If you've watched any of my my football or soccer content on this channel, you know that I talk a lot about the way that American sports fans approach sports as opposed to other countries and cultures. And we for the most part really use it as entertainment. It's something that we consume. We are sports consumers. And yeah, wow, really good video. I learned a lot from this. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.